This is the Tokyo Shemp News Service. The Dirtbag left is actually the military shill racket. Jimmy Dore branches off of the Young Turks as controlled opposition. Graham Elwood acts as the pivot between the Young Turks, Jimmy Dore, and so-called organic citizen journalism, which turns out to be fake. Roar media is actually uphill media. I uncovered Mitchell Helt, who links Ebon Ken Manitok and Redneckonomics, and Eric H526 H.A. Goodman to what is referred to as the Dirtbag left. I also uncovered a Joy Choden. If you read the PR Week article that I keep referencing, you'll see how even public relations people were disgusted by the fake grassroots methodology of these people. Joy Choden spoke of faking it till you make it. That's my paraphrasing of her ideas. You can read that stuff for yourself and decide for yourself. I get lucky. I watch enough of this stuff, and sometimes I get lucky. On one show, Graham Elwood was faking not knowing how to pronounce a Joy Choden's name. He called her Chodan. It was quite ridiculous. It's somewhere in my archives. As soon as I put two and two together of the Mitchell Helt to the Roar Media connection, which leads directly into the Convo Couch, Slow News Day, they add on more people, Franco Analysis. These are obvious military shills if you watch enough of their shows. Poikinen recently claimed he worked for The Nation as a journalist and was fired by editor Chris Hayes. I confront them on this, but get no response. There was a Suzanne Murphy who was working at Roar Media. Maybe they'll play her again sometime. She turned out to be in the 1%. She's a CEO for a company in Massachusetts. I think they have an affiliate also in Texas. I'm not sure. She is a very rich person. I am estimating she is in the 1% of money. She is a millionaire. I don't see how she doesn't have $1 million with how much the company makes, how few employees there are, and how long she has been doing it. They hid this information from her appearances, as truth be known. I uncovered it, and now she hasn't been on lately. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe she'll reappear at some point. But they didn't fool me. This is not my first convolution rodeo. I uncovered a similar racket many, many years ago. You had a Larissa Alexandrovna at Raw Story, a Ron Breinart, Brad Friedman of Brad Blog was part of that racket. Alexandrovna had one of those ex-CIA guys as part of her group. His name is or was Larry Johnson. I don't know where he is now, and I don't care. It's a common name, but people will know who I'm talking about if they know from back then he was one of those security guys. I exposed Brandon Darby as soon as he tried to recreate himself through Breitbart. Anyway, let's run through some screenshots before we get to the video showing that it wasn't just Jimmy Dore promoting the fake Boogaloo guy. I think he's a fake Boogaloo. I don't think he's a real, sincere, whatever those people are into. I'm a non-violent anarchist. I don't know what those other people are attempting, but I'm jumping ahead. Let's take a look at those screenshots. His name is Magnus Pandvidya. He's on a website named Knitter. I assume that's a knockoff version of Twitter for the right wing, but I sort of don't care. The reason why I took this screenshot is because it says here, my response to all the recent attacks on me, Jimmy Dore, lovely activist warriors like Fiorella. I don't know, Sarcasm Stardust, is Craig Pasta, Slow News Day, and my movement in general. So thank you for all these people linking themselves to one another. They make it really obvious. They make it really easy to troll bust the whole operation at once. The beauty of this is that Jimmy Dore becomes a crucial piece to easily expose as an anti-terror agent, as a COINTELPRO asset. I don't know what happened with Jimmy Dore. Maybe he was arrested on drug charges 5-10 years ago and he got flipped. He became the proverbial COINTELPRO agent. Cenk Uygur, I doubt that's the route he took. I think he was a corporate attorney. I imagine Cenk Uygur got the job like a Tucker Carlson got the job, like a Joe Rogan got the job, how Megyn Kelly got the job. They're placed. How Alex Jones got the job. They're placed. Hal Turner got the job. Sean Hannity comes across as if he's COINTELPRO. It's a long list. H.A. Goodman is a COINTELPRO agent, provocateur. Live, Boogaloo Boy Magnus Pamvidya interview. So there we have Magnus on the convo couch. Here is the Young Turks had a show on this. They called it Jimmy Dore's Wrong About the Boogaloo Boys. Boogaloo? So this is not framed as COINTELPRO. No one ever mentions that this is all a setup and a sham and a fake honeypot trap manipulation. They never mention that all this mirrors what's in Snowden documents. They just frame it into the same old rise and shine media mythology. I've got a video of this guy. He's getting next to no views. I do have it written down in my notes, and I'll share it later, where he references that group, NFAC. I think that's the No Effing Around Coalition. I'd have to look that up to confirm it. I did a batch of videos on that guy, the Grandmaster J. Maybe people missed that one, but it's the same thing, but from the black man's version of a militia. I think those are fake. They're very goofy, and I'm starting to think that our buddy, the new buddy, Magnus, is a fake, that he's an actor. I've got a screenshot here of Stevie from her Agent Provocateurs and Influencers at Protests video. That's from November. I think we should take another look at the craziness of what she said.
That's more on the lighter end, if you have proper, people on security duty, making sure, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, then, those things are, it's not going to happen. As far as the fights and things like that, you can watch out, but the really nefarious thing are the agent provocateurs. Now, this has been a tactic that they've used for at least a century or more, well, longer than that. But they'll send people in and pretend to be protesters. They'll send people in to even infiltrate groups. The FBI has done that. Our government has a long history of doing that. So, unfortunately, but I mean, even Malcolm X talked about it. He talked about how they infiltrate, they co-opt, try to gain information, they try to do all this stuff, and in some cases they'll even go out to these protests and they will instigate violence or instigate not violence but property damage and things like that, just to get things started, to paint that protest as violent, make people afraid of them and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go and find, let's see, we'll go to this clip of Democracy Now. Share screen. Okay.
I've got some other screenshots to share later, mostly comments that I've made, but they're not needed to be discussed right now. Okay, that's that for screenshots. There weren't that many to waste time on. The first video to share, this show is a spin-off from Slow News Day. This person is Misty doing the interview. Here he is plugging the NFAC.
So that's definitely part of our line of logic of like the second ensuring the first is like, hey, these are people and they have a right to be here and you cannot do this. And if you're going to continue to use such excessive force on them, then there's going to be a reaction, whether that be like pure black groups like NFAC, whether they be mixed groups like us, or whether they even be, Trump supporters and everything.
I thought this was interesting. Watch disinfo shills crack up over Misty misusing the phrase hit list. Also interesting to myself was if you watch these people enough, you'll notice them flashing Freemason symbols. Most police and military are Freemasons. This guy was using the shush in regards to the hit list, the kill list phrase.
No way anybody could ever call me anti-vax. I actually made a hit list, not a hit list, but like a list that, yes, but like anti-vaxxers got pissed off and made like a list of people that they felt were, like troublemakers. And I'm on that list from 2015. So there's no way anybody could ever call me anti-vax. I am not getting that vaccine.
What she said didn't even make sense. She made a list. She was put on a list. These people have basically nothing of value to share. This person, Misty, is tied to the hip of Slow News Day, of Steve Poikonen. The Dirtbag left was loving having this guy on as a guest. Convo Couch had Magnus on and gave him a nice introduction.
And the other day we had a situation where Jimmy Dore had a guest on, and the backlash that came out of it. And as you know, on this network, we've always talked to the other side. I have an interview with a Trump supporter the day after the Capitol breach, whatnot, talking about the commonalities we have to build bridges. And it's kind of disgusting to see some people on the left saying that if you talk to anybody on the right, you're supporting fascism, you're supporting Nazism. So we brought back this guest who was once on Jimmy Dore. Now he's here with us. He's a Boogaloo boy, Magnus Panvadaya. How you doing today, Magnus?
Good. Yeah, that's like the fifth way I've heard the last name be pronounced, so I like it.
Are you a Russian asset? I need to know.
Right off the bat.
Oh yeah, it's a secret Putin infiltrating Russian asset. Yes.
Well, first off, I just want to push back on the name the Boogaloo Boys, kind of making fun at Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. It was a great sequel, number one.
They promoted Roar Media. All these shows keep mentioning the other shows. They want to come across as organic grassroots, but it's impossible.
I just want to read a couple of super chats and get you out of here because they kind of apply to you. Thanks, Fee and Pasta. Magnus has the right idea. We'd love to have him on our channel. This message is a message that needs to be amplified. That's from Roar Media, our friends in Washington. We'll give you over their information. You can contact them, Magnus, and go on their show. They're awesome people.
There's nothing organic about every single person having tardive dyskinesia, for starters. These people are putting on a fake protest soon in Washington, D.C. I think that's what they're up to. I think this is from yesterday, and it was co-hosted not by Glory, but by Misty. This is Right Woo's Left. That's what this is called. Alex Jones was getting spun as left wing back in the day. They're trying to link up left-wing social movement with right-wing conspiracy theory. It doesn't work that way, though. They overplay their cards. Jimmy Dore is meant to be the controlled opposition to Cenk Uygur. That's a house of cards about to fall. You can't go promoting Boogaloo boys for some type of entrapment scam and expect no pushback from masses of people, from the general zeitgeist, so to speak. That's what's going on. Now, there'll be a lot of stupid people who are only on the surface. They're not going to pick up on this controversy.